Hello and welcome to this week's video. This week we look at words and phrases related to travelling by train. We look at the type of stations there are, the types of journeys passengers can make, and much more. So we will be looking at the following words and phrases: bike ranks, Guildford, commute, least used stations, and request stops. As ever, we will help you with your pronunciation, help you to understand definitions, and use examples of English you are likely to hear in everyday life. Don't forget to stay until the end to test your knowledge by taking our quiz. Anyway, let's get started with the first word. Our first word this week is bike ranks. So let's have a look at how these are pronounced. Bike ranks. And again, bike ranks. Excellent. So let's take a look at the definition. This is an area where you can lock up your bike while you are away. These are posts where you can lock your bike onto at a train station. Interesting. So let's learn a little more by looking at an example. Steve locked his bike up in the bike rank while he took the train to Reading for the day. Our second word for this week is Guildford. Now let's have a look at how this is pronounced. Guildford. And again, Guildford. So in Guildford, we do not pronounce the D. So it's straight on Gill, then Ford. Great. So let's have a look at the definition of Guildford. This is a town in the English county of Surrey, which is located 43 kilometres southwest of London. Now let's learn a little more by taking a look at the example. John took a very early train from Guildford to Reading to get to his works training event in London. Our next word is commute. So let's take a look in more detail at how we would pronounce commute. Commute. And again, commute. Excellent. So now we can take a look at the definition. So the definition of commute is a journey made from someone's home to their workplace, which is made on a regular basis. Fantastic. So let's increase our knowledge of the word commute by looking at an example. John commutes by train from his home in Birmingham to Reading on a regular basis. He does this because the train gets him to work on time. Our penultimate phrase for this week's video is least used stations. Now this is a long phrase, so let's take a bit of time to look through the pronunciation. Least used stations. Excellent. And again, least used stations. Great. So let's learn more about this phrase by looking at the definition. These are train stations which passengers use the least in a particular area or country. So the example would be the 5th station on Amy's route to work was one of the least used stations in the UK, as it was only used by an average of 25 passengers a week. Our final phrase this week is request stops. So let's have a look at the pronunciation in more detail. Request stops. And again, request stops. Excellent. So the definition of request stops is as follows. These are stations in which passengers need to alert the train driver to stop. If no one needs the train to stop, the train carries on. And the example is, Steve waited for his train at the request stop train station. He alerted the driver to stop by putting his arm out. Now it's time to test your knowledge with our weekly quiz to see how much of today's lesson you can remember. So this week's question is, which word would we use to regularly travel to work on a train? Would it be A, convolute, B, communal, or C, commute? And the correct answer is C, commute. Let us know in the comments if you got the answer correct. And if you did, congratulations! Thank you again for joining us today. If you have any questions about this video, or would like us to explain a term for you from any context, then please post your question in the comments box below. We are always happy to help. Don't forget to like our video to help us gain more viewers and improve our channel in order to provide you with an even better experience. Why not press the subscribe button and bell notification icon so you never miss one of our future videos. Next week we will be looking at words and phrases to do with road signs. Thanks again for joining us today, and we'll see you again next week. Goodbye.